In 1987, someone wrote a book on juggling. It contained some vague and oftentimes incomplete and inaccurate instruction, some history, and lots of old pictures. It was a nice big book with nice pictures for the 80s. In this book, the author refers to what I now call body throws as Alberts. This caught on and everyone started calling the throws Alberts. The author admits in his book that he decided to name the move Alberts because a juggler named Albert was the first juggler he saw doing it. And then in the same sentence in the same book admits that after that he learned that many others had done the move long before this Albert. So this author writes a book, gives undue credit to some juggler who's not doing a move he invented, and now everyone's calling the move Alberts for absolutely no good reason but many bad ones. I didn't know this until 2008. I just assumed that this Albert could not have created the move simply because of his age. I've seen footage much older than Albert of this move being done, so I never accepted the name Albert for this move. In 2000, I produced my first instructional video on VHS, if you can remember what that was, and I named the move Crotch Throws. This seemed to catch on pretty good, maybe just because people like saying crotch. However, once the WJF competitions were going to be aired on ESPN, I thought body throws would be better. And if you think about it, the throws are not made with the crotch anyway. They pass through the legs and around the body, so body throws sounds fairly accurate while trying to remain as succinct as possible. Now this is a very hard move. I'll try my best to describe how to learn it, but do not expect quick results. Give yourself about a year to get this down solid. Follow all the instructions I provide, watch them over and over again to help with the visualization, and you might get this solid in 3 to 6 months. It's different for everyone. So let's begin. You're going to change your default body position for this move. Starting with the feet, you'll stand wider than shoulder width. You'll have to experiment with this a bit to find the most comfortable distance to stand while still keeping your feet flat on the ground. Some people have a tendency to stand with their feet too close together, and then to make space for the club, they lift their feet up onto their toes and alternate sashaying their knees from side to side. So find a foot stance that will allow you to keep your feet planted and legs stationary. Your knees will be bent quite a bit and you'll lean forward. Hold the club and point it at the floor. Slowly move it through your legs from front to back. Do not throw, just follow the path I'm describing for right now. If it touches the floor, you're either standing too wide or bent over too much, or the club's too long, or you're too short. Refer to this example for an estimation of the body position. Then find something close that works for your dimensions. Holding one club in your right hand with your palm up and in the default body throw position, start to lower the club to the ground, moving the club over to your left leg. As you lower the club, turn your wrist counterclockwise about 180 degrees and then slide your hand down until you're holding the club on the knob. Make sure the club is pointed straight at the ground. Bring your hand and arm as far through your legs as you can without crawling through with your head. Don't move your body at this point, just the arm and the hand. Then release the club. By the time you release the club, you should have already positioned it on your left side as close to the inside of your left leg as you can, so that when it is thrown, it'll fly just past your left shoulder and travel forward, inward and with a slight angle pointing toward the center line and right into your left hand. Now there's a lot to this throw and a lot of interesting alternative techniques that don't work, so try to not do any of the following. Don't dig the club through your legs. Some people twist their whole upper body and lift their feet up off the ground as they twist and wind up and then awkwardly force the club through their legs in one direction that flies behind them. Or they come swooping in from the right side with such a great angle that the club has no choice but to slam right into their opposite shoulder. This is why we move the club to the opposite side first before throwing. You want the angle of the club to be pointed mostly forward with a slight angle in toward the center. Try this a few times with the right hand and then try it with the left hand. Most people need to stay on one club for a while, weeks sometimes, before moving on to 2 clubs. So please don't rush your progress on this one. It requires incredible precision and speed. So get this down solid with 1 club before moving on.
feet are a little bit wider than probably any other move you do, I think. What really helps, kind of the secret to this move, is to bend your knees, give yourself more space, and then, okay, point the club forward. You're going to bend forward a little bit when you do this also. You're going to point the club at the ground, move it over to the side that you're going to throw to, so that you're not coming in from an angle, because what happens when you come in from an angle is that it'll hit you because it's coming from here and going here. So the idea is to get it to come from over here, go straight down, and then you have the whole side of your shoulder for it to come next to and then angle in. And also the idea is not to move your body to get it, just like anything else, face forward, just make the throw and try to get it to come right back into your hands, as close to the center so that you can make another throw. Point down at the ground, same thing when you're sliding down like with a back cross throw, and you're going to turn your wrist over. This is a special situation where you actually will turn your wrist. Turn your wrist down so you're pointing the club at the ground. Don't look back. You're not looking there to see it go away from you. You look where you want it to be, and then you throw it into your vision. The end points forward, and when it comes around, it points in, but mostly forward, a little bit in. But you don't want it to look like a back cross like this. You want it to point forward. Right. Yeah. Yeah. With the left hand, bring it over to the right side before you throw. Yeah. Right. Try to point it forward. Keep it as close to your body as you can so that it comes right back in. And I move a little from side to side to get my shoulders out of the way, but you may not have to do that. Yeah. Keep going. And never lift your heels off of the ground. Feet stay planted into the ground, and move your feet out wider if you need to, bend a little more if you need to, but don't ever do toe raises or heel raises or any version of that. It's not bad. Yeah. Just think about keeping the club pointed forward more. Just hitting your shoulder a little bit because you're coming out from the side. Yeah. Always think about bringing the club over to that side that you're throwing to. Then you'll minimize the chances of hitting your shoulders, which is particularly important for me, but helps everyone, gives them more room to make that throw. Yeah. Bring your arm back to the center. Arm always goes back. Even though I'm catching out here, I'm forcing my hand back to the center. Once you're leaning forward, stay there. Don't come up and go back down. Get here, stay here, and just move the arms. And your head. About shoulder height. Yeah, right about there. Yeah. And when you're the hand that's not throwing, keep it up in the catching position. Don't let it just hang down like this. Keep your hands up in the catching position. Whichever hand isn't doing anything, keep it up and ready to catch. Make sure your feet don't come up at all. Don't lift up onto your toes. Feet planted, bend the knees, lean forward, and stay there. Yeah, try to get it a little bit wider, just so that it's not coming like right over your shoulder there, but to the side of it, yeah. Also, get your hand a little bit over to the other side before you make the throw. Your feet are probably a little too wide. You can bring them in a little bit, yeah. Yeah, but try not to turn your body from side to side, face forward. Turn your head, that's fine. Also, if you catch too wide, don't throw from there. Reposition and start over. Try not to use your wrist to dig it around from behind, but move your hand over, use your finger, slide down to the knob, and just push it over the side. But you shouldn't have to scoop in. Yeah, so bring your hand close together, move it to the other side and against the opposite leg. And then just think of it just going straight back and holding onto it long enough so that it comes back to the front. Yeah, but also you're reinforcing that scooping by going into it somehow, or you're going in like this, I guess. Keep your torso facing forward. Don't move this at all. Just move your arm. Better. Now point the club forward. Point the club forward. Bring it down against the opposite leg. But also right there what you're doing is you're leaning like this. Yeah, you're leaning toward the same direction as the arm you're using. So face forward, don't lean one side or the other, just forward, stay here, and now just move your arm. Just the arm. Right, good. Now hold on to it longer and turn your head to look at it. Face forward, straight down, just turn the head. But make sure you're pointed straight at the floor. The club pointed straight down. Slide down to the knob when you're here, and then keep it pointed at the floor and just hold on to it as you throw. A little better. You want to think about keeping the club pointed straight forward and then straight back as you follow through. Try not to come from so wide of an angle from here, but bring it over so that you close the gap. Because if you're coming from here, it'll either hit your shoulder or be angled too far in, and you want to try to have the angle pointed forward when you do it. It'll still angle in a little bit. Hold on to it a little bit longer too. Yeah, that's good. Hold on to it a little bit longer, and then left hand. Yeah, that's the one. The right hand is fine. Left hand, make sure you bring it over, then go down there, point it at the ground, and you should be at the knob, yeah, by the time you're there. But make sure it's close, it's really close to the opposite leg. So really, yeah, right. There you go. Yeah. So make sure you're always thinking about that. Bring it over to the other side, and then point it at the ground. Hold on to it long enough so that it stays low and close to your body. And when you do it, don't lift it up like this and then chop it down. Just start from here, point it at the ground, slide down to the knob, move it over to the other side, and then release. Hold on to it, follow through. Yeah, right. And now that hand. Yeah. Hold on to it a little bit longer until it comes back in front of you. Yeah, don't turn your body either. Stay face forward. Try to point it straight so that when it comes around, it's not angled so far to the other side. You want to try to point it forward. Don't lift your foot. Keep your feet planted. There you go. Yeah. So what you should do is work on that until you can make a perfect body throw after a throw in front before you move on to three. From both sides now. So, but they're not sync. One then the other. When you go to three, you're going to work on just one throw for a very long time from both sides, but never forget how to juggle normal. You know, a lot of people will just think they already have this down, so they don't even pay attention to it, and they'll go for the body throw, and then they'll either underspin, or the angles will be different, or they'll start juggling in the direction that the body throw is going to go. So always keep in mind, you want to start from a perfect pattern in front, keep everything very narrow, close to the center. Then from here, you're going to start from here, and then you're going to go down and stay there, and then you can come back up if it's just one. But you want to make sure that all of these throws stay exactly where they are right now. You do the body throw, but then the very next throw goes right back to where these were in the first place.
Throwing body throws from back to front is a little easier than front to back, but presents other challenges, obstacles, things to avoid. Body position is different as well. Your feet should be about as wide as they were with front to back throws, and you're going to want to bend your knees a little as well so that you're standing in a partial squat position, like you just ate at Taco Bell. But you're going to not lean forward. Instead, you're going to keep your torso straight and tilt your head down. The start of the throw is similar to back crosses in that you slide your hand down to the knob and bring the club behind you. But you keep the end of the club pointed down and then only slightly change the angle to point in the direction that it's going to be thrown. From right to left, you'll want to angle the club forward and then slightly to the left. As you make your final approach, the club will cross your center line, and then you'll make the throw as it travels from the left side of your center line to a height just below your chest and then being caught a little to the outside of your left knee. These throws are a little wider than the basic throws because in order to continue, you need to catch them in the same place where the throw can easily be made again without having to reposition. Since these throws originate from the side of the body, it will help to catch them as close to the throwing position as possible. Make sure you're able to make the reverse body throw with the same hang time as your basic pattern throws. You'll need to follow through quite a bit and learn when to release to get the best height. Let go too soon and it'll go too far in front of you. Hold on too long and it'll hit you in places you'd rather not be hit.